Ah, Lisbon, the city that flat roads forgot. Portugal's capital is a beautiful city packed full of life, colour, hills, history, music, hills, food, more fucking hills. Fuck me, there was a lot of hills. My word. I went there for 3 days in March. Let's get into it. So, March. I went to Lisbon in March because it's cheaper than summer. However, you are gambling with the weather, but according to the website I read, March should be alright for weather in Lisbon. Well, it wasn't. It fucking wasn't. There was moments of nice sunshine though, but overall, not the most picturesque view of Lisbon. So for bits of this, just imagine what it looks like when it is sunny. You know, it will look a lot better in the sun. If I was going to go again, I'd go in May. So yeah, I'd say go in May. So for my trip to Lisbon, I got the Lisbon City card. And it was okay, it was pretty good value for money actually. It was only €22 and it included free transport. That without the card will cost you €10. And the Lisbon card does get you into quite a few attractions. It included free admission to the Belém Tower, which is an amazing sight to see, especially in high tide. And I hope you do like the sight of it, because you're going to be looking at it for fucking ages, because the queues, they were long as fuck, my word. The tower itself is okay. If you've got the Lisbon card, I recommend checking it out, but to be honest, it's better looking at it from the outside. When you go inside, there's not much to see there. You're not missing much by not going inside it. Another thing you get free admission to with the Lisbon card is Jeremias Monastery. Even if you're not into that Jesus geezer, this is still worth a visit. Like most of Christ's gaffs, the architecture is absolutely amazing. And in general, it was just very pleasant to walk around it. It was very nice. Something that was a bit less pleasant, but again, if you've got the Lisbon card, you might as well check it out, was the Lisbon Story. This is an audiovisual exhibition that takes you through the history of Lisbon. And it's alright, you know, you do learn some interesting stuff. It really makes you appreciate the significant role this city has had in history. However, the audio guide was a bit shit, the voice acting was bad, and you have to get your timing right for the pictures on the wall and the audio in your ears to sync up. And due to the chapters being triggered depending on where you stand, often the wrong chapter will play as the audio guide has picked up the signal from another part of the exhibition. Sometimes it will even be the part of the exhibition on the other side of the wall, so it's a bit frustrating. Also, in the bit about the Lisbon earthquake, the video effects are absolutely shite. What are those? What's going on there? Although the display of the after effects of the earthquake in the next few rooms was quite cool. This wasn't part of the after effects, I think their roof was just leaking. The bit at the end where they go through the history of the Praça do Comércio is also really cool. The Commerce Square itself is beautiful. And I just realised that there's an English translation for a lot of these places, so I don't have to say it in the native language. The Commerce Square itself is beautiful. Well, the first time I saw it, it wasn't, because, you know, look at the state of the weather, but when I came back 2 days later, it was stunning. Bathed in sunlight, this place is serene, and when you know the historic events that have taken place in this square, like the assassination of King Charles Carlos I, which played a key role in the collapse of the Portuguese monarchy, and the square was also one of the main locations in the peaceful Carnation Revolution, the coup d'etat in 1974 which ended an over 4-decade-long dictatorship in Portugal. The coup was actually set into motion by that year's Portuguese entry into the Eurovision Song Contest. Yeah. Still, that was also the night that ABBA were on Eurovision, so yeah, it didn't win. The geezer in the centre of the square is Joseph I, who was the former king of Portugal. I don't know what the horse did to get on that statue, but I imagine he was an important geezer as well. Overlooking the commerce square is the Rue Augusta Arch, a historical monument built to commemorate the city's reconstruction in the wake of the 1755 earthquake. It's a majestic sight to look at. The web address does ruin it a bit slightly, but it's still nice. You can also go to the top of the building for free with the Lisbon cards, and without it, it's about €3, so still pretty cheap. If you're there, you might as well go and check it out. I imagine it's an incredible view, but my legs were absolutely knackered by that point, so I binned it off. And the reason my legs were absolutely knackered was because everything in Lisbon is on a fucking hill. It's a great city to walk around, but you feel every fucking mile of it. Fuck me. There's so many hills, even the pavement needs a lie down. But for those who do manage to deal with the walking, there's so much to take in for free. Like the view of the Tagus River from various viewpoints around the city. There's also some amazing monuments to see for free, like the Monument of the Discoveries. You do have to pay to go inside though. While you're in the area, you might as well check out the Combatants Museum. With the Lisbon card it's €4 and it's €5 without it, and it's definitely worth it. There's so much cool shit to see, and if you like getting your picture taken next to stuff, there's loads of opportunities for that as well. There's tanks, planes, all kinds of stuff. Bung that on your Insta, or your Tinder, or your Grindr, get it up there geezers. Portugal itself was actually neutral during World War II and most of World War I, so they give more of a holistic accounting of military history rather than talking about their own country's conflicts. But it's very informative and it's good value for money. I recommend it. Next to it is what I first thought was a list of George Mendes's transfer dealings. However, it turns out to be a war memorial. And what a beautiful commemoration this is. Definitely worth a visit. Perhaps the best attraction in Lisbon has to be Castelo de Jorge. Sitting at the top of this beautiful city on the São Jorge Hill, Lisbon's largest hill, this castle was first constructed in the 2nd century by the Romans, which is another thing that they've done for us. Since then, it's been occupied by the Visigoths, the Moors, the Christian Crusaders, and been strengthened and added to by these groups along the way. A massive restoration process took place from 1938 to 1944. Strange time to do that during a world war. Things you can do when you remain neutral. Anyway, check this out, it looks great. However, it's not on the Lisbon card, it's €15, and there was quite a big line when I originally got there, so if you pushed for cash, time, or fucks to give, then you're not missing much by skipping it. But the views on the walk to the castle are really nice, and there's loads of great places to eat or drink around it. There was also some peacocks knocking about, so you know, that's nice. Now, if you like castles, I definitely recommend checking out Sintra, a small town about an hour away by train from Lisbon. There's more castles, palaces, and generally just beautiful attractions than you could shake a stick at. I was only there for a day, so I settled on 3 attractions. The first was the Park and National Palace of Penha. On the way to the palace, you can go through a tiring but very pleasant hike through a path filled with little nooks and crannies, bridges and boulders. It's really cool, it does feel like you're actually going on a bit of an adventure. Penha Park itself is really nice, but the Palace of Penha is absolutely breathtaking. This used to just be a monastery until 1840, when the then King Ferdinand II inherited his title through marriage. There's one geezer who did marriage right. Go on, my son. So when King Ferdinand II got on the old throne, he remodelled the monastery and started extending it into the unique wonder that it is today. This is as stunning as it actually looks in the pictures. To go inside, you do need to pay an extra €10, and inside is alright, but to be honest, it's not necessary. Visiting the outside is the best bit. While less colourful but no less stunning is the Moors Castle. Built in the 10th century BC when the Moors occupied the Iberian Peninsula, this castle was built to defend the region. It doesn't seem to have worked that well, as the middle bit of the castle seems to have been nicked by someone, but still, this is a sight to be seen. This was also restored by King Ferdinand II. Nice one, geezer. The third attraction, and no less stunning, is Quinta de Regulara. Make sure to set aside some time to really explore this place. With its underground tunnels, grottos, there's so much to see. And that's even before you get to the initiation well, which is spectacular in its own right. I didn't get time to actually go in the palace itself because I left it too late in the day, and also I got distracted. Even so, I felt I got my money's worth. Now for the food. Lisbon is famous in part for the pastries, most notably their custard tarts, which are called pastel de nata. Now these are unreal no matter where you get them from in Lisbon. However, if you're near the Geronimo's monastery, I'd recommend getting them from Pastéis de Belém, which you can see how highly rated it is by the fact there's a massive line to go in. If you don't want a queue, opt for the takeaway option. Another popular dessert of Lisbon is pão de ló, which is Portuguese sponge bread. Season it with some squeezed orange and it is absolutely lovely. I'd also recommend these sugared dough balls, which I believe are called fil hoses. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but whatever it is, it's very nice. Oh, if real balls tasted like that, I might turn. You also gotta get a bifana, which is basically a pork sandwich. It's sublime. I got it at the same place I got the pão de ló, which is O Prego, which is a lovely little place near Castelo de Jorge. Another place I really recommend is O Velo Urico, a restaurant that a geezer working at my hostel says is really famous. After googling it, I can't find the evidence that it is really famous, and it was just round the corner from the hostel, so I don't know, maybe they had a deal going on or something like that, I don't know. But whatever it was, I don't regret going to it. It's a really classy place, and I had a lamb shank sandwich and some squid. Accompanied with my drink, it came to about €30, which is, for London prices, it's pretty good, but not the cheapest place. But I did enjoy it. Good recommendation, geezer at the hostel. Back to the food, and for proper foodies, I recommend the Time Out Market. As you can see here, this place is just rammed with a plethora of different dining options from around the world. This is a feast for your taste buds, which is basically just a feast. It's absolutely fantastic. Definitely get in here and get some food down you. Aside from pastries, Lisbon is most famous for its fish. The oysters here are lovely, and so are the mussels. But for me, my highlight was the octopus skewer in a nice restaurant called Antabar. Check out what you can get for €16. Look at that. Still going. Oh, that's jizz-inducing stuff, that. For about €16, this mix of octopus, prawns and fried veg is well worth it. While in Lisbon, I should tell you that people will offer you little side dishes, but they're not free. They will be added to your bill. So if someone puts down a little side dish like some potatoes or something, ask them how much it's going to cost before you start eating it. Anyway, Antabar is in a lovely region of Lisbon called Green Street. Well, it's just off Green Street, but close enough. Green Street offers a nice chill place to go during the day or night if you just want a relaxed atmosphere with something nice to eat. However, if you want the opposite of nice and chill, then go to Pink Street. If you are here for the sesh, check out this place. There's a bar or club to fit any of your needs. Yeah, come on lads. Another place you can check out is the LX Factory. This former industrial area is filled with over 50 different bars, shops, restaurants, coffee places. You can get vintage clothes here, immerse yourself in the fashion scene, listen to some live music. There was some graffiti and art installations. I even got caught up in a political rally. I had no idea what these geezers were saying, but they did give me free cake and drink, so yeah, they've got my vote. They've got my vote. This place is basically like a hipster's paradise. Just standing there, I found myself sprouting a beard. In hindsight, I would probably come a bit earlier in the day, as I got there at night time, and it's clear from these images you're not going to get the full experience, as a lot of these places were closed. So come a bit earlier when, everything's open. Anyway, that's Lisbon. If I was going to go again, I probably wouldn't walk. I'd take a tram or some PEDs or something like that. Anyway, that's Lisbon. Check it out, geezers.